Welcome to the Airedale. I'm Chloe Lewis.
And I'm Andrew Chronister.
Today we'll be covering why teachers teach, the PAC, stress relief, and much, much more coming up on the Airedale.
Directly from the Alma High School news studio, covering news and sports from where it matters. You're watching the Airedale.
Here at Alma High School, we have some amazing teachers, but what makes teachers want to get up every day to teach? Jace Brantley and Stetson Goodson tell us more.
Every teacher has their reasons for becoming a teacher, and for the most part, it's the engagement of the students.
Well, teaching in itself is, there's a lot of good things that come from it. There's a lot of things that make me feel good about myself whenever kids get it. Whenever they have that light bulb moment when they figure something out. Motivation is external. I like seeing other people be successful. When other people are successful, it's kind of addicting. They want more success. They want to push themselves a little bit harder. They want to, kind of take themselves to the next level. And the fact that I can be a part of that motivates me to do what I do.
From what you just heard about why teachers choose their career, many would learn to appreciate the hard work it takes to keep up with the schedule and dedication to the students.
Well, I've always, been pretty good at explaining things or helping people out or answering questions. Even when I was younger, when I was in school, it was kind of like that. If somebody had a question, they would ask me if they didn't want to ask the teacher or something like that. I was coaching actually some travel baseball teams. Back when I was 18, 19 years old, I was doing lessons and things with baseball and just teaching younger kids how to play that game. Kind of then transferred into teaching people how to understand science and how to understand the human body, how to understand and be able to apply information, about themselves that they may not know. And teaching science allows me to explain not only how the human body may operate, but also how the world around us operates. And if I can teach that to the next generation of kids, then they'll have a better understanding with what they do in their future.
Many different teachers have different reasons on why they like to teach and don't do it for the money.
I like to teach a little bit of everything. I've taught pretty much every science class that the state of Arkansas has to offer. So my degree is actually in biology, and so I do enjoy life sciences. Right now I'm teaching physical science, which is a little bit of physics and chemistry, but I also like math. And so by teaching physics and chemistry, the math kind of fits right in there with that. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, doing the science and the math.
From what you just heard of why this teacher likes to teach, let's transition over to what it inspired Mr. Kelly to become a teacher.
I think a lot of it was based on the teachers that I had in the past. Growing up, I had certain teachers that had a positive impact, on me, and the things that they did for me as a student kind of opened my eyes to what I could do for others, as a teacher. And so you have guys like Bill Mullins, who taught here for a long time and was a superintendent in Kansas. Mm-hmm. Bob Wolf, who's principal at the middle school, had a big impact on me. I actually had him in class in biology when he was still teaching. And so those guys have, my time as a student, those guys had a positive impact in what I was doing in science. And that kind of blossomed into what I did when I went to college. And then going through the college route, kind of got into the education route, and then it all kind of came together. Whenever I had all of my education stuff done, and I had my degree in biology, Jerry Valentine, our former principal, and Charles Dyer, our former superintendent, they took a chance, and hired me, and that was 15 years ago, and here we are now.
From Airewaves Media, this is Jace Brantley and
Stetson Goodson.
Learning a new language is always a challenge. Here at Alma High School, Ms. Wilhite teaches Spanish and is the sponsor for Spanish Club. Heston Everett and Dalton Davis spoke with her about the language and its culture here at Alma.
For this interview, we were curious on the Spanish teacher as well as information on the Spanish Club. Miss Kim Wilhite is in her 31st year of teaching and starting her 28th year at Alma High School.
This year has been interesting. It's going well. I have a lot of students. My classes are full, but it's exciting when we can get everybody on the same page. I've had a lot of attendance issues this year, and not just because of COVID, just a lot of attendance issues.
Kim has 2 bachelor's degrees, Spanish and English language arts, in education from Arkansas Tech University in Russellville. Kim finished her Spanish education degree in Costa Rica through the Fulbright Institute at the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville.
But we don't even just cover Spain. We cover all the South American countries, Peru. I know we go into depth in Nicaragua, and then also the Spanish culture in Spain. Actually, I tell them I'm a member just like they are, so I can have fun. I love to be a student whenever possible, and all the things that we learn in here is something they can apply to life. And of course, they get Miss Wilhite's life lessons on a daily basis, and let my students lead, because it teaches leadership and organization skills, responsibility, and always fun. This year our Spanish Club president is Caleb Hathaway, and everybody's motivated because Caleb is fun.
I'm so tired. I need a coffee.
I think you should really be drinking some water.
Why is that?
Well, proper hydration is one of the many important aspects of keeping a healthy track of your health. Tyler Wilcox and Grayson Hopper looked at this issue.
This summer has been one of the hottest we've had in a while, so it's important to stay hydrated. Many of the students here at Alma High School partake in sports, band, or NJROTC. It's crucial to be hydrated when exercising or just being outside, especially since these are classes that students participate in every day. We asked different students about staying healthy and hydrated here at Alma High School.
Yes, I have, during summer because it's so hot. Yes, in dance and in PE.
The Airedale Marching Band does after-school practice for 3 hours each Monday. Not to mention football practices every day after school, so staying hydrated is a common practice for these classes. If you're an athlete or just outside for long periods at a time, hydrating is essential for your health and body. Although it has been cooling down recently, you should always make sure to drink some water.
No, not really. I prefer cold weather over hot weather. I'm part of the Alma Marching Band. We exercise daily. Yes, I have been drinking water and staying hydrated. Like I said, I'm a part of the Airedale Marching Band, so I kind of have to.
Maybe these students need to start drinking a little more often. So please remember to be drinking enough water and to stay hydrated.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Grayson with Airewaves Media.
By far, one of the most important industries in the world is agriculture. It provides you with milk, meat, veggies, and delicious Jell-O.
Love me some Jell-O.
Well, here at Alma High School, we have the Future Farmers of America and agriculture classes. Remy Scarber and Ethan Moore spoke to some students about this integral career path.
The agriculture department has a lot of opportunities for students to be a part of that will give them real-life work scenarios. They have a lot of opportunities to compete and participate in events that will help them learn more about farming.
FFA, we obviously have livestock shows. Our students can attend and compete in public speaking events, so extemporaneous speaking, parliamentary procedure teams, prepared public speaking, and then they can also, ninth graders can recite the FFA Creed. We have students who compete on career development event teams, so those are teams that are the goal of those is to prepare students for careers in agriculture and various agriculture industries beyond high school. So we have many members who compete on our vet science team, livestock judging, the forestry team. We plan to add potentially a horse judging team this year, as well as an electricity team. So there's lots of opportunities. There's many more contests that our FFA members can do with that.
In competitions, there are a lot of different animals they can enter into different events that include goats, pigs, cattle, lambs, and chickens.
We arrive one day early, set up, and then the next day we get ready for the show by weighing in, and then the following day we start the show. I won market hog, and then I won showmanship in hogs, and then I won breeding hog.
At the Crawford County Fair, Alma High School had 5 members who showed livestock. These 5 members are Ross Brister, Taylor Jones, Cadence Stone, and Aaron Roberts.
Ross Brister showed the Grand Champion Market Hog and was selected as the Senior Swine Showman. He was also awarded the Swine Herdsman Award for the barn. Cadence Stone showed the 5th overall Market Goat. Taylor Jones showed the 5th overall Poultry Chain Pen, so those are layered chickens. Aaron Roberts also showed her Poultry Chain Pen, and then Brody Taylor received first in his class with his market and breeding hog.
I'm Remy Scarber for Airewaves Media.
The Performing Arts Center is for sure a hallmark for our school. It is an integral part of all the performances for the band, choir, and theater troupe. Let's put the spotlight on the history and the importance of the PAC with Sarah Nutt and Seth Canales.
If you've been going to Alma School District for a while, you'll realize that you've been going to a theater to watch plays since primary school. This place is what is known as the Alma Performing Arts Center. The Performing Arts Center has been a very important place for a while, so today we'll be discussing it. To start with the basics, the Performing Arts Center includes a full-stage theater with more than 1,500 seats, a visual art gallery, a kitchen, dressing rooms, laundry room, costume shop, and lots more. As of right now, Alma High School's theater production team have been working very hard on a play adaptation of the Christmas movie Elf, and it will be performed from December 2nd to December 5th. Mr. Hobson will talk about how he's been preparing for this.
When it comes to preparation, we start even in the summertime. We've been involved in this process for months now, and what's great about our program is that we actually have a class. We have a production class, so students are able to work with us on a daily basis through that class. And some of our students who aren't necessarily in the class but are still in the show, they come to early morning rehearsals, they stay after school for rehearsals, so we take advantage of our time as much as we can.
Did you know that Broadway once performed here? Beautiful, the Carole King musical, only played for one day, which was October 16th, 2019. It featured a ton of actors and original music, and the people who watched it were amazed. The Alma Performing Arts Center has done a lot for the theater community, for actors, and for fans that are just there to watch. I'm Sarah Nutt with Airewaves Media.
Stress. We all have it. Stress is widespread these days, especially with the fizzling out of the COVID-19 pandemic. It's important to do your best to deal with stress and not bottle it up. Jackson Frey Aldenhoven took an in-depth look at this rampant issue.
With adjusting to a new year in school after COVID has died down for the most part, kids and teachers alike are trying to adjust to a normal year with minimal restrictions. Though, some people need more assistance in such a big change. One thing that has affected everyone is the stress caused during time like these. Here's some tips on how to relieve stress during these times.
Say for school, like making a to-do list, keeping up with your assignments like on a specific list, maybe a planner. That way you know what's ahead of you and you can cross it off and have that sense of accomplishment when you finish, because I keep lists everywhere. I love that sense of accomplishment of sometimes I finish it and then write it off. If I didn't write it down first, I'll write it down so I can cross it off after that and feel that accomplishment, so that helps. Going outside, taking a break. If you're working hard on assignments, get up and walk around for a little bit, because that can take a brain break for a little bit.
With adjusting to a new year in school after COVID has died down for the most part, kids and teachers alike are trying to adjust to a normal year with minimal restrictions. Though, some people need more assistance in such a big change. One thing that has affected everyone is the stress caused during time like these. Here's some tips on how to relieve stress during these times.
Walk away for a minute. You know, if I just need to take a break, go outside, I definitely do that. Like I said earlier, I keep lists. If I don't write it down, it's not going to happen. So I've got to write things down. I listen to music. I play with my kids. You know, I take my counselor hat off when I go home and put my mom hat on and my wife hat on. So I just try to keep things separate. So like if you're doing schoolwork in the middle of trying to do your job and be a kid and all that kind of stuff, it just gets all jumbled up and that gets stressful. So keep things separate too.
A lot of ways to relieve stress and anxiety that is affecting your life, whether at work or school. One way to relieve stress is to participate in a variety of activities. These can help reduce stress and trigger endorphins in the mind that will cause a feeling of happiness.
Well, because we're all human and we get stressed out and we need to know how to know our limits, to take a break. You know, being in high school is practice for real life later on, so if you can practice these things now, you're more prepared and be successful in college and your career and your family life later on. Yeah.
With tenses high in current times, whether it's because of school or something in your personal life, it's good to take time to yourself and take a break, because even doing small things to help yourself will have a big impact on yourself in the long run. This is Jackson Freldenhoven from Airewaves Media, signing off.
The Alma High School is one of the luckiest schools that are able to participate in the foreign exchange program. Joshua Wagley spoke with some foreign exchange students about their experience in America so far.
Multiple students from around the world are calling Alma home for this school year as a part of Alma High School's foreign exchange program.
I like it here. Like, I don't really had a plan where I wanted to go, and it just, I don't know, happened because my organization said that many people liked it here that did an exchange year, so yeah, that's why I'm here, and I like it.
I'm really happy about the program because we're in complete immersion and you work 24/7 always.
The school is so different for the class, teachers, and students.
Alma High School Exchange Student Coordinator Ms. Parham says each student is paired with a host family that lives in the community.
We have an exchange program here at Alma High School for foreign exchange students that come to our school and community and live with us and share their culture with us as well as learning about ours.
She also states that the students usually do an online search, then they are paired with a company in their country who contacts the U.S. and pairs them with a location.
And the American side, they're in charge of finding a host family. So then when they know there's a student that's wanting to come to an area, they ask their local coordinator. Ours is Tanya Dre for our school district, and she goes out and finds host families.
Parham mentions that some students have a visa that allows them to get academic credit in their country while studying in the U.S. and learning about the culture. Some of the exchange students say while they love Alma so far, they are still getting used to the differences.
I feel really well here. It's pretty hot and it's not really like where I live. So it's the weather is kind of different, but it's great.
For Airewaves Media, I am Joshua Wagley.
China has new restrictions on gaming, and many people are confused as to why. It's even sparked some controversy. Michael Farrell peered into the reasons behind these restrictions.
The Chinese government has placed restrictions on when children can play video games. This was caused by the Chinese government believing that video games can easily cause addiction.
I believe it's unfair because video games are very big importance to building your motor skills, your hand-eye coordination. It's very important, for me at least, to have that ability. So it's important for all those kids to have it too.
Chinese regulators are now pushing for a real name verification system inside online video games to enforce these restrictions.
It's way too restrictive, limits creativity, and also makes it easy for identity theft. I think it's stupid to affect single player because it's literally you just learning how to game, and well, that can actually be beneficial.
Children in China are now restricted to playing video games for 1 hour per day on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and public holidays.
It's stupid, but not unexpected.
As the average time for playing video games per week is about 12 hours in China compared to our 7 hours in America, some people suspect that this might have something to do with the regulations.
I don't know if I completely agree with it, but I mean, it's their own country.
This has been Michael Farrell from Airwaves Media, playing video games all that I want and signing out.
The ocean, you know, that giant, widespread, largely unexplored body of water that covers 2/3 of the planet? There's a lot that is unknown about the ocean. Here's Andrew Chronister with some crazy facts that'll drown you in curiosity.
The oceans are wonderful and majestic, but they are also mysterious and terrifying. Here are some crazy facts about the oceans that will blow your mind out of the water. Number 1. Thanks to the ocean, most of the planet is dark. Oceans have an average depth of around 12,000 feet. Since light can only penetrate just over 300 feet of water, this means that the majority of the Earth is in complete darkness all of the time. Number 2. Earth's largest mountain range is underwater. Oh, and did I mention that it's 10 times longer than the Andes? While the longest mountain range above the water is the Andes at around 4,300 miles, the mid-oceanic ridge snakes itself between every continent, measuring a mind-boggling 40,390 miles long, more than 5 times the distance from the Earth's crust to its core. Number 3. The Pacific Ocean is wider than the moon. Now, I know what you must be thinking. What? That's crazy. Well, you're right, it is crazy, and it gives you a little perspective on how vast the ocean is. The moon's diameter is 2,159 miles. The Pacific Ocean at its widest point is 12,300 miles. That's more than 5.5 times the width of the moon. Well, that just about wraps up this little rant about the ocean and how insane it is. I am Andrew Chronister with Airewaves Media. Thank you for watching. Project Linus is an organization that has partnered with Alma to give blankets to children for the cold season ahead. Chloe Lewis went ahead and took a look at this charity.
The Alma chapter has chosen to do Project Linus for their community service project. But what is Project Linus?
So if you're familiar with the Peanuts cartoon, Linus was the one who had the blanket. Linus carried his security blanket, and so we see ourselves as providing security to children through blankets and providing love through those.
What children receive the blankets that students donate or make?
So the blankets go to children in need between the ages of newborn and 18 years old. So depending on the size or the weight of the blanket, they'll go to the NICU at Mercy. They might go to the Hamilton House for children going through exams. They go to children in DHS, even children who have lost their parents or have parents being deployed in the military. So just any child who's going through a really traumatic time that needs a hug.
What is the history behind this organization?
This is a national organization that was formed about 25, 30 years ago. And about 5 years ago, I had accumulated a number of quilts and blankets that I had made with no really good place to give them anymore. So I found Project Linus nationally. I said, where do I take these? And they said, well, to your chapter. There wasn't a chapter, so I became the chapter coordinator for Western Arkansas. I've been the coordinator now for 5 years, and I've gotten to meet some of the nicest people, and I'm just reminded, even being out here at the market today, I'm reminded of how kind people are and how people want to help in whatever way they think they can. So I know we've helped nearly 1,000 children, but we've also made friendships and really made some good relationships with folks I might not have met otherwise. If they want to donate their blankets, they really just work on their own time. Whether you're making fleece blankets or quilts, you can take them to Joann Fabric, you can take them to the Central Sewing Center on Walden Road, or you can take them to Crooked Creek Quilt Shop in Greenwood, Arkansas.
If you or somebody you know would like to donate to Project Linus, please visit 1105. And I'm Chloe Lewis from Airewaves Media. The Pride of Alma has been working hard to prepare for marching season, but how hard have they been working? Louis Alexander and Christian Sullivan talked to the band directors to find out how.
Marching band has its pros and cons. We will be talking about the advantages and disadvantages of marching band. Some people are unsure of what marching band is exactly. We have Mr. Kent Myers and Andrew Ennis with us to answer this very question.
Conditioning in June. That includes running, stretching, calisthenics, all that kind of thing. I know a lot of people have this band geek view of band, like, oh, they just go out there and march around in circles, but there's a lot of physical demand in modern marching band. So really it requires a lot of physical fitness a lot of physical training and cardiovascular training. Not to mention you're carrying a big instrument in most cases, so you're having to remember your music and where your coordinates or where your spots are on the field. So you've got about 5 different things that you're trying to keep straight in your head. So modern marching band, extremely difficult compared to where it has evolved from in its earlier stages as a military-based.
Some people know marching band has its difficulties. It can be very tough to be a part of this extracurricular.
And the kids are basically running around the field for 8 minutes while playing and moving on the field. It's very taxing, sweaty, a lot of hard work. So it's like a sport, so they'd really appreciate your support at halftime during the games and cheer them on when they come off the field.
As you can see, there are many intricacies to marching band. This is Chris Sullivan and Lewis Alexander with Airewaves Media.
You know what I love?
Jello?
I mean, yes, but I also love curling up with a good book and reading for a while. Reading is sometimes looked at with the stigma of bookishness and nerdiness. However, reading is good for you and helps sharpen your mind. Evan Shibley got a read on what people think of reading.
Percy Jackson, Harry Potter, Divergent, and Hunger Games. All of these books I have read and thoroughly enjoyed. However, many students don't seem to share the same passion for reading. Phones, video games, and computers can all contribute to the decline of reading. These technologies can often take time away from books because they are generally more accessible and, on the surface level, more appealing. However, if you take away those technologies and read, a book can easily be just as entertaining. Many people who are already into reading tend to get into reading funk where maybe they haven't read in a while or simply just aren't engaged by any books they try to read, much like burnout for a writer. There are ways to get through this, however, and be able to get back into reading.
One way that I've gotten back into reading is just finding something that's really accessible and maybe not too long and not too overwhelming.
If you don't like reading, you just haven't found the right book. J.K. Rowling. This quote from the famed Harry Potter author rings true. There are many different books for many types of people with a variety of tastes. The point is, if there is a certain book you're looking for, it most likely exists, so just keep looking. We hope this helped a couple people get interested in reading and get back into reading, and hope to see you in the library again. This is Evan Shibley with Airewaves Media.
Tennis is a competitive sport that is often overlooked and overshadowed by baseball, basketball, and football. The season has just ended and the team performed at their best to put in a lot of work. Brianna Langston lifted the shadows to reveal the inner workings of the tennis team here at Alma High School.
The Alma High School tennis team is wrapping up their season with a bang. This young team has worked hard this year and are hopeful for success in the near future.
Here, when I say we have 18 kids on the team, and boys and girls combined, and 14 of them were either freshmen or sophomores, and 14 of them had never played tennis before. So the good news about that is, though, if they all stick with it, here in a couple of years we should be one of the more experienced teams in our conference. So.
Coach Jernigan is really proud of his athletes this year. He says these young athletes have a bright future ahead. I'm Brianna Langston with Airewaves Media.
The Arkansas Razorbacks football team has started off the year with a bang. Zach Miller talks to the Razorback fans here at Alma High School about this incredible football season.
The Arkansas Razorbacks is off to a great start. They are ranked number 13. A lot of it starts with the drive of the coaches. It also does count if they truly want to win. Let's find out how some people feel about the Arkansas Razorbacks.
So how do you feel about the Arkansas Razorbacks now since they're winning?
Well, I think the coach has done a really nice job. He's kind of gotten his own people in there, some good recruiting. And let's face it, anytime you win 3 in a row, much less a big one over Texas, people are going to get fired up.
Well, they have surprised me within their offense and defense.
I'm feeling pretty good about them. They won the first 3 games. We go up against A&M this weekend, so hopefully we'll pull out another win. But they're looking good.
This week, the Arkansas Razorbacks have a big game against ranked number 18 Auburn. I am Zachary Miller from Airewaves Media, and good luck to the Arkansas Razorbacks this week.
Well, that concludes this episode of the Airedale. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow all of our social media at Airewaves Media. And tune in to the Instagram to check out this week's bloopers.
And as always,
Go
Airedales. That concludes this episode of the Airedale. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow all of our social medias at Airewaves Media.
Tune into the Instagram to check out this week's bloopers.
And, as always,
Go Airedales.